Green.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Impossible Creatures Replay channel is thrilled once again to present to you the latest installment of Critter Clash 2022. This is the Losers Final. I am Davo, and here with me I have Weenie Hut.
Hello, this is Carl. I'm here. We are going to cast a set between Gray and Mutt.
That's right. And so this is last chance for both of these players. Either they win and they end up in the grand finals, or they lose and it is the end of their tournament. But both players had a great tournament so far, and we're going to kick it off on Cameral, the pre-selected map. So yeah, as you can see from the replays, this is going to be a great series. So
There's no telling what evil plans are
as we load it
And so
in,
this is
but we can
go
put
ahead.
yeah. So this is a map.
taking out
This
their
is a map
legs.
where let's see who's on the bottom. Is
So
that
Mud is on the bottom in the dark blue, and on the top we have Gray in the gray.
yeah? So I mean, on this map, I've seen Gray. I've seen Gray and Rush before on this map. Mutt is less of a rusher, more of a scouter, and he reacted very well to rushes as well. So
That's
let's see.
absolutely correct. I call the scouting henchman the Mutt henchman because Mutt is the only player I have seen who I think in every single game I've seen of him he sends out a hench to scout. Maybe not every single one, but most of them. But we're already seeing something interesting up here. Gray building a lightning rod on the way to the expo. So this is a pretty fast second lightning rod, which usually augurs a fast level 2.
Definitely. And I think in terms of pure reputation, well, I guess who would you expect to win this game based off of pure reputation?
Oh, I mean, I think both players are really shown a lot of strength, but Mutt is the veteran here. Mutt is one of the players who's been in the scene the longest and considered one of the strongest players there is currently active, and so I think you'd have to say Gray is probably underdog going into this, even though Gray entered the losers bracket a little bit later than Mutt.
Yeah, absolutely. Gray definitely has ruffled some feathers, but I would say Mutt is the favorite in this matchup.
Yes, Gray. Maybe next Critter Clash it'll be the opposite, but right
Who
now
knows?
Gray is certainly the one with more to prove. I would say.
All right, so you'll see the way Mutt set up his start at the bottom is he fenced off the right of his base, and then he expanded left. So he's got both sides of his base covered. And that way, Gray is making a chamber.
Yes,
Looks like
because
he's
Gray
going
just hit
to,
level 2, and he has these Lemming Panthers, which are
and you'll
interesting units.
And for Lemming Panthers, the advantage of these are they have decent stats. They're bulky. They have decent attack. The overpopulation from the lemming part of this unit is what gives them their power and why Gray goes for them. The
Yeah,
overpopulation will actually decrease the time that it takes to build them. So he can, as you can see, he can just mass a lot of them very
yeah.
quickly.
He had the faster level 2, and he was able to mass this. Now, I will say I find Lemming Panthers a little underwhelming in combat, and you can see that these hench are doing pretty well as they punch with this sound beam still very much up. Gray rather, is focusing on the creatures, and I think that is causing him to really lose some value here because henchmen are pretty beefy themselves. I mean, they have a little bit more health than
Yeah.
these Lemming Panthers, and when you have several hench punching at the same time, they will actually outdamage a single panther. So
And so you see they're in a little bit of a stalemate here. Mutt made the right decision putting down a sound beam.
absolutely,
Non-barrier destroy units can take them a while to take down sound beams. So sound beams are very important early game.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely. I mean, these
right.
are basically a level 3 ranged unit. The only disadvantage is that they can't move, but they can be repaired as you're
Yeah,
seeing now. And now that Mutt has this pack hunter active on these lioness, I I guess these are
and these are actually
lioness Komodo
they're Komodo
dragons.
dragon. They're Komodo dragon lionesses, and
Yeah,
those are beautiful units. They have everything you want: regen, leap
absolutely.
attack, pack hunter. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, their speed is great. I
Oh
know
yeah, these are
people.
the Gray's scouts.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're really good. And now the hyenas are coming out, and I mean Gray hasn't taken anything of the rest of the map. Mutt has the central geyser, so he has a pretty significant resource advantage at this point. He's the only geyser on the map, and it's the one in the middle, which
and
Gray
Mutt is
can do
making the right
nothing
call.
about.
He realizes so. Mutt has won the one Gray's push on that expansion. Gray blew his chamber, Mutt immediately pushes to his base because that's where most of his economy is going to be.
Yeah, this is a sign of the end. I mean, Mutt taking out the lightning rod, and yeah, Gray is in a lot of trouble now. I mean, these Panthemings are not going to win 1v1 against these Komodos, these
Yeah,
Komodo
and
lionesses.
Gray
And,
made the right decision of putting down Soundbeam Towers first. That's
absolutely, yeah. Chamber and
Soundbeam is
Soundbeam Towers. I
will
mean,
be
he will hold this push. He's making good use of these henchmen punching, but economically he is very far behind. Mutt is building a water chamber, which, yes, as I suspected,
going
he's going
three.
level 3.
Is Gray anywhere? Gray's probably not anywhere near level 3 right
There's
now. He
no
only has
chance.
so Mutt took out 2 of his rods in that attack.
Took out
So
two of his rods. He has no geysers. He's only basically been mining from his base for the past couple of minutes, and
and over
trying to
here,
get in
Gray's
some
trying
aggression. But now the
a little
fence,
desperation, annoyance.
yeah, these,
Gray.
yeah, this
That's
is
just
a rough start from Gray. So yeah, this is kind of going as you might expect from their reputations before the tournament. But Gray has shown himself to be better than this. So we'll have to see
No,
what
I
happens.
expect. I mean, it's tough when you do an early rush with not very much economy behind it. If it goes wrong and you don't win, then it
Absolutely.
loses you the game. So like whenever you do that, it's a gamble. Gray
Yeah,
took that gamble,
I
and then
fully agree. I mean, if you were coaching Gray, what would you say? How was the game lost for him? What would you be looking to tell him to do it differently in the next game?
I mean, the problem is one. It's tough. He put down a fast chamber right where Mutt could see it that allowed Mutt to react. One way to improve it might have been to just move the chamber back a little bit, mass a few units, especially to get a few maybe these pack hunter range to take down that tower initially. Because it looks like he didn't have any barrier destroy level 2s to take out that tower. So I think
Yeah.
maybe a little more covert massing of units to take out that expo might have helped him a little bit. But Gray's a great player. We can all fall into this trap. It could have very
Yeah.
easily gone the other way.
Absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things that perhaps escaped Gray in this was that Mutt sent out his scout and he saw the 3 rods that were trickling towards the expo, so he knew very early what Gray's plan had to be. I mean, you don't build rods like that if you're not sending your hench to the expo, and so
Yeah.
I think he knew very quickly Gray had 3 rods. That's a fast 3. That's a fast 2. And Gray was prepared. He built the fence very quickly. He was very ready to build a soundbeam tower and go level 2 himself. So I think if Gray wants to try this rush strategy, he needs to do a better job of avoiding the scout, which is hard on this map. And there he blows labs. So that's the end of game 1. So Mutt takes the advantage, and now Gray has the opportunity to choose the next map. But yeah, to complete my thought, I think that if Gray wants to rush, he needs to make sure he isn't scouted. And if he is scouted, I think he needed to pivot. He could have decided against, especially when he was starting to lose that expo, he could have gone to the other expo and tried to take that instead. It's very easy to get tunnel vision on what your plan is, and I think that sometimes it's better to realize that it's gonna be hard to pull off your plan A and try and find a plan B as quickly as you can. So let's see what happens on Gray's first map pick of the series, which is going to be Red Beach.
Red Beach. So we've seen him have success on Red Beach against, I believe, B-Champ. Or no, it wasn't B-Champ. He's had, either way, he's had success on Red Beach this tournament.
Yeah.
He did lose 2 Nisperox on Red Beach recently.
That's
But,
true, yes.
I mean, at his core, Gray is a macro player. I think if he decides to macro, he
After we
might be
take
able
out
to
the
go
enemy
head-to-head with
labs,
Mutt.
this island would
We'll
make
see.
for
This
some
is a
nice beachfront
map that is
property.
hard to rush. We've seen Gray's play in the past years to go middle.
Yeah.
He actually was able to beat Mutt's longtime partner Sniper on this map by doing that. I am absolutely sure Mutt has seen that game and knows what Gray is going to do.
That's true. That's a important part of the progression of the tournament. Is seeing players' strategies before and adapting. But
Exactly.
the go ahead.
Gray tried that same strategy on Nisperox, who knew his strategy, and Nisperox just early rushed the middle, took it over. And so we'll see if Gray adapts to that.
That's true, and we see him doing the same rod structure, sort of trickling away from his lab on his way somewhere. So we'll see whether he pushes to this expo or to middle early, whether he goes for a proxy chamber. Mutt is going with a slower build order with different rod, but he's also building a scouting lightning rod. Since the beach is so exposed on Red Beach, it's actually very, very powerful to build scouting rods to make sure that you can sort of see any aggression coming a little bit earlier. It's not much extra time, but it can make the difference. So now we're seeing Gray move out.
And Mutt does. You'll see Mutt even on deep freeze on a lot of maps. Mutt does those scouting rods near the beaches just to save him from a sneaky creature chamber there.
Absolutely. Yeah, Mutt is once again the quintessential scouting player in the scene. And now we're going to see something very interesting as 5 henchmen each converge on the expo.
So 5-on-5, Gray has the workshop down, which gives him the advantage to send henchmen directly there.
Absolutely, and Mutt immediately backing up, going for his chamber, and he perfectly timed because his level 2 is just coming out now. And now
this is funny. He sees Gray. Gray's going to try a little sneaky chamber at his base, probably. Mutt's going to get the expo. Oh, those cheetah warhogs are beautiful. We actually saw Kiki beat Mutt with these units on Soothing Oasis in Kiki's impromptu tournament.
Yeah. And in Impossible Creatures, imitation is the finest form of flattery, so anytime a really good unit shows up, you're going to see it again, but with other players using it. And
those can just get across the map so fast. They have horns, which gives them advantage against defense. They have herding, which gives them more defense.
Yeah, they're going to be useful, but they have a very long way to run to get to this conflict. And the overpop, once again, coming into play from Gray.
This is hilarious. You'll see Gray try to build brambles next to the lab, between the lab and the chamber. That'll stop Mutt from building a safe sound beam there.
Yeah, that's a very important strategy. Also, attempting defense around the creature chamber that Mutt built up, but unfortunately, 92%. This sound beam tower just not good enough.
And it looks like he doesn't need it.
Now this chamber is just doomed. So Gray getting as much value out of it as he can, but he's in trouble now.
They're so powerful around the lab. The Heckman were able to punch Gray's attack to death.
Yeah, this is pretty much doomed to fail, though, as soon as he walked past Mutt's chamber, which Mutt has now blown up to get the resources back, because it was immediately scouted, and now Gray has a few units, but they're not gonna be able to win this. He did build this fence, but this is actually going to be more of a hindrance to him now than an asset, because he has no easy way of getting elsewhere on the map. He has to go through middle, but this is going to be contested pretty soon.
Technically, yes, Gray failed at the rush. Mutt has the lower X expansion. I mean, the game's not totally over. Gray still is sending out henchmen to go.
Yeah. Gray's now attempting to remedy his expo situation by going to mid.
It's going to be tough, though, because, I mean, these units are all going right through mid. They're going to find him.
Yeah, definitely. The trickle from Mutt is really a big deal, but now Gray should have seen this chamber because his henchman walked right by it. And he does have a sound beam in base, and now his fence is down, and these units find no geyser and therefore do not attack anything. But
it looks like his henchmen are being attacked in the middle now. It would seem.
Yeah, this is going to be very rough for Gray. I don't see him coming back from this particular situation. I mean, you don't want to call it too early, but there's really not much you can do with only 5 coal piles, not all of them being mined. And you can see he's not really defending his lab as hard as he could. I think he's already thinking about the next.
In the middle, he's trying to make creatures there.
Yeah,
it's tough when you have a lot of things around the map.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a big map, and yeah, when your plan goes wrong early, I mean, it's really hard to recover. I mean, especially I think for a macro player like Gray, you know, he's trying to surprise Mutt with these early rushes, and Mutt's just ready for him. And I think you can see as he blows lab, you can see that he's not as comfortable with the rush strategies. And I mean, you know, at this point, would you go back to playing macro? Because
I would. I'd switch it up. His rushes have been detected twice. They haven't worked.
Yeah. So
I think we'll see what his third map pick is.
Oop,
Hopefully
not
they'll
multiplayer.
play it.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have to see what the next map pick is, and the map pick is Dreamcatcher. And this
So
is
you also notice Gray's map picks of Dreamcatcher, Red Beach. These are not maps that are usually played in 1v1s. These are not maps that
no,
old
If we
players
can
like
take
Mutt
out
has
all
played
enemy
1,000 games
labs,
on, like
this
Vacation.
island is
no.
ours
This
to
is
take.
this is a
Gray is
huge map.
you're probably been purposely picking maps that this experience gap will be less against a player like Mutt.
Yeah, and I think that's a smart strategy. I mean, especially Mutt has publicly stated multiple times that Dreamcatcher is one of his least favorite maps in the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
So, so yeah,
The
Gray
Dreamcatcher
going back to the gray. He was on red, but he decided against it. So we'll see whether the color change is going to help him out. But
So in terms of the map Dreamcatcher, it's very big. It has a
absolutely
4 coal
massive.
start, which automatically is just annoying pretty much to everyone. I don't know anyone
Yes.
who
Yeah.
prefers 4 coal starts.
Yeah.
And
Everyone
just
except Nibbling.
Nibbling is the only 4 coal start. Yeah, Nibbling.
And I mean the other thing to consider is these expos are fairly scattered, and you don't have any huge expos like on Vacation or Midway where you're gonna have like 5 or 6 coal in one concentrated area. All of the coal is very spread out.
The generators are spread out, so it's not like
Yeah.
you can defend a generator with an expansion or even your home base.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, one of the interesting things about this map is that the bottom left quadrant is generator city here.
Yeah.
You have 2 generators down here and 2 expansions, plus the center gen, and then up here is coal, and you just have coal, and so it's gonna be interesting to see which expansion these players prioritize, to see what happens. So you see Gray
Being up
is
top,
take it as natural, and he's got a scouting henchman, and he is fencing himself in on both sides. And that is
Yeah,
Gray reaching level 2 and immediately pumping 2 chambers. So
I can also tell you I have played Gray a lot, played with Gray a lot, and he is pretty new to the scene. But he did used to play Impossible Creatures with his brother Lush, and
yes,
this is one of the maps that they used to duke it out on all the time. Him and his brother.
yeah,
And
and
so
you
presumably Gray has played this map before, has a plan. We'll see. Looks like he
yeah,
has
no
those
doubt.
cheetah scorps or
Those are cheetah scorps. That you have to bring if you're gonna have any kind of early aggression on this map. They need to be fast. So pretty much the only thing that you could practically use are cheetah combinations. So these are the classic cheetah scorps, and Gray also using his standard level 1 chambats for scouts, which are really good with the sonar pulse. I don't know whether he uses it much, but you're going to see the first few forces coming out, and the keen sense from the warthog is just devastating for these scouts. However, the cheetah scorps are playing bodyguard, and so we're going to see what happens. Meanwhile, Mutt, in terms of macro, has focused on this upper expansion, and he's gonna get this chamber up just about. There's only 3 cheetah scorps here, so if Mutt starts producing units, that rush is not gonna, that attack is not gonna do much. But I don't know
Looks
whether
like
he's gone
Gray, I
level
don't know if
2 yet.
Gray down south is either has cheetah scorps or henchmen building.
He's
so there's an expansion.
yeah, he has henchmen, and he's scouting some more. So he's seen that this has no generator taken yet, and here comes his first attack, and
Yeah.
this is just out of sight.
Ooh.
Just out of sight,
Yeah.
not seen by the units, and this is devastating. Look at the timing. Look at the timings. Just as he hits the lab, he also hits the expansion. So for Mutt, the notifications went off at the same time. So he heard that his hench were being attacked, and he could see it happening on his expo. But he hasn't heard it for his lab, and this is just massive. Look at all those hench die. I mean, that is
Yeah, that's huge. Mutt was able to hold his upper expansion.
yeah.
Oh, that's so painful. Now he's gonna
That's
get the
huge.
notification. that
Yeah,
his
now
lab
he's told that his lab is under attack, and now he must
That
feel just terrible seeing no more hench and wondering what happened to them.
And that is something Gray is very good at is splitting his forces, attacking several expansions at once.
Yeah,
You don't even realize. I can't tell you how many times my henchmen have just disappeared at my home.
yeah,
full
absolutely.
pile,
And
it's
like,
just so frustrating.
I mean, he did get a little bit fortunate with the pathing, but man, that was just perfect punish for Gray, and that's just gonna set him up so well. And meanwhile, in terms of macro, He's
Look at
fortifying his mid expo. He's taken the generator here. He's taking this generator. So he is
he's
now.
sending units to middle to protect the middle geyser as well.
Yeah, these
He's
are
got a
scouts for now, but
Oh, okay.
he is going to be able to defend from here. Gazelle, Cuttlefish, Cheetah Scorps. Mutt has more units. He does have more, but it's going to be hard to do damage. I mean, Gray has these fences. He's got 2 chambers here. He's got his only really exposed expansion at this point has 2 chambers there as well. So, and Mutt is behind
Right.
economically. He lost all of his large hench. He's only got these expansions. So in terms of electricity, he's going to be very much behind.
Yeah. He's going to press. I mean, I think the main difference in their play was that Gray fenced off both entrances and Mutt only fenced
Absolutely.
off one.
And now Mutt finds out about it, and this is going to be really hard for him. He needs to.
This is a good push from Mutt. Gray's going to bring his own units.
Yeah. So meanwhile,
Right.
so we're basically seeing these players sort of trade the map, but Mutt doesn't finish this chamber. I think that's a mistake. I mean, he has to defend his expansion, but
Yeah.
you gotta feel it. He did no permanent damage to Gray's economy or to his macro there, and
Gray's gonna push this expansion.
I think he is gonna clean up this force. Mutt does have more units, so
So Gray's sneaking. Well, he's great. Yep. You see
yeah,
that
he's
now.
still pushing in. Now Mutt has a sound beam, so it's gonna be a lot harder to do damage. These Cheetah Scorps, they're really good against soft targets. They're not so good against hard targets, but they found a soft target with this generator right here, and Mutt has not yet found a soft target. He is coming back to finish the chamber, so that's gonna be good, and he's probably gonna take this generator as well. But he's going to lose his first. And he's lost this expansion as well. These hench are just
Gray's
dying.
rating so well.
And
Mutt
Mutt has somehow
really-
hit 3 before Gray. And he is breaking into the lab. So Mutt has his priorities on straight. He knows he's behind in macro. And he's pushing into Gray's base. And Gray's a little slow to react here. I mean, this is a dangerous force. He could really lose a lot here.
I mean, he has definitely the potential. One thing Mutt has done really well is he's kept all of his units in a very small ball. It's
Yeah.
interesting because they have different philosophies where Gray's sending 3 or 4 units here, 3 or 4 units there. If you have the power of units in a small ball, though, the power becomes exponential because they just clean up units
Yeah,
so much faster with minimal damage to your forces.
absolutely. Now Gray did hit 3, so he does have lab defense. But I mean, he's lost everything in his lab, and this is a large force. I mean,
Yeah.
Mutt is leaving some of his units on the lab to force the lab defense, which is a really good play because Gray's economic advantage is in electricity. So if he can mitigate that, that's going to be huge. And he's
And
picking
you'll
off these
notice
level
that
3s too.
Mutt has chosen to press the lab, but Gray is taking his top expansion as well.
Yeah.
At least his
Yeah, Mutt
Wow,
defending
okay.
with these cuttlefish condors, which are
15 damage.
yeah,
Level
which are
3, is
actually
that-
incredible. That's an amazing amount of damage, and they have camouflage, which is really good now at level 3 because Gray has these land lion eels.
Yeah, so
and it's-
direct range air has actually become more powerful in the last patch, or more reasonable
Yes.
cost, that is.
Yes,
So
yes. They've
why you see Mutt with these units. They're actually gorgeous.
they're really nice for sure. But Mutt has still lost the expansion, and they are expensive. I mean, you look at this price. This is discounted at it's 230 coal and 103 elect. So
So Mutt realizes he has to kind of expand, get more. So he's exploring down south.
yeah,
Sees trying to get henchmen back up there.
it's definitely
Gray
trying to
has his own
consolidate.
final
But
melee, which is going to find this.
yeah, those walk stretches are just standing guard on this expansion. Mutt did manage to take out this generator with his push on the expo, and he takes out the workshop as well. So Mutt doing a lot
yeah,
of
that
damage
was
with the
good.
last of his level 2s. But you can see the mini map. I mean, the mini map is all gray. It's literally all gray, and the player is taking it over. I mean,
Definitely.
Mutt
Gray's
is in
pushing
a
it to the
really tough
east.
position right now. He's not going
And
down
Mutt's
easy.
still-
But
Can you take a look at that mammoth? I want to see what that is. Is that
oh,
right under the units?
what's pushing in?
Units?
This is a
is it?
melee chimp.
Oh my.
It's a frenzy
That's
meat.
a- Oh, what?
3 damage, but probably 700, over 700 effective health. But Gray has these walk switches, which are unfortunately not actually very good versus Mutt's flying camouflage units.
Right.
Gray
Yeah, which
building
is
up these
raining.
anti-air towers to help guard his expo as he takes out
That's right.
Mutt's attempt.
Hello.
And at this point, Gray has map control. He has the top middle expansions, the bottom middle expansions. The longer he's able to keep this map geometry and cutting that off from expanding, the more the game will go into his favor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is really tipped into his favor pretty heavily. As I mean, Mutt did not go down easy. That pressure on the lab was really strong. But Gray kept his cool, just turned on lab defense, masked units, came back to save his lab, and then he just had such a strong position. I mean, he's got all the generators on the map, apart from
You'll see
Mutt's home generator.
Gray sent half of his forces down to this lab, where basically Mutt's whole army is, but then his
Yeah.
other half is up with his expansion uncontested. So
Yeah, doing a little bit of
it's-
attack moving here instead of
I
they
know.
haven't really seen the units, but now they're going after the hench, and this is
his
Mutt's
army
most
is
of Mutt's
built-
economy really right here. This is the same amount of coal as he has at his lab, and it's all gonna die. Plus, he's gonna lose his air chambers. I mean, this
I
is
mean,
this is
Gray's
the
going to win this battle on aggregate, and then it's
Yeah.
going to be game.
Mutt having to build a water chamber for something. Um, and there it is.
Many blows.
So Gray comes
Wow.
back with a macro game. We were just talking about how he needed to do that, and he delivered with a beautiful Dreamcatcher.
That was really good. You always like to see the underdog win a game.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it always sucks when it's only 3 games. So let's just let's take a look at the next one. So now Mutt gets the chance to choose a map, and I don't think it'll surprise anybody who's
Nope.
played with Mutt anytime recently, seen him play before. If he gets counterpick, he's gonna pick Sandbar. So Sandbar is a special map. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Sandbar as it loads in, and we don't have a proper
Yeah.
picture for it.
So Sandbar's a map that came around recently. Actually, is part of the new
Halfway taking out the enemy
Tellurian
lab,
patch.
this
but
island would make for
there
some
became
nice
a-
beachfront property.
Oh, I think Weenie's audio might have dropped a little bit. There was a need
Can you hear
for pure swimmer maps basically, and I'm zooming out a little too far to make it look pretty. Very well painted map, but as you can see, there is not much land, and there's quite a lot of water. And the very special part about this particular map is that the expansions are all raidable from pure swimming units. The henchmen have to swim to mine. So, very interesting dynamic, and so we're gonna see what happens. And so yeah, Mutt just saturating his coal in the top left, and Gray likewise, but Gray has an extra lightning rod and is building a third. So he's going for a faster level 2. Mutt is setting up for his coal, and so we're gonna see a little bit of a different build order. So let's see if
And this
Weenie is still here.
Mud has always loved his pure swimmers, and Mud is very strong with pure swimmers. So
Absolutely.
think
He and Nisperox both just when people started realizing how efficient pure swimmers were, they would regularly play 2 or 3 games in a row of Midway Atoll, which was the only pure swimmer map at the time,
Right.
and they would play it every day, 2 or 3 sets in the middle of the day, and just practice. So he's a very, very strong pure swimmer player, and so
and I'll tell you, Gray is actually he does not like amphibious units or pure swimmers. He's more of a land animal.
Yeah,
That-
so,
that is his preference. So he does feel a little out of his element on this type of map.
yeah, I think so. I mean, it's interesting that Gray went for so much electricity early. I think this is actually a conversion strategy, because one thing that is unique about Sandbar is because these henchmen have to swim to get coal, they actually don't saturate the mining line properly. Like, you would usually build 6 henchmen for an expansion like this, but they're too slow, and they don't actually sort of have 100% uptime on the expansion. So I think these extra rods and generator early before going level 2, instead of going for fast 2, I think Gray actually wanted the economic advantage of being able to convert some electricity. We're going to see Mutt coming in with an unusual unit for pure swimmer maps. This is not a Tuniel at level 2, so yeah,
Oh,
this is
this is
Dolphin
good. So
Rattlesnake.
Gray's unit is a barrier destroy camouflage unit, which he loves to sneak onto your lab coal and just annihilate your henchmen.
Yeah,
And
this
if you
is
have
a
pure swimmers, there's nothing you can do.
beautiful unit because it is not only the camouflage, it is also amphibious, which is particularly strong on this map. I mean, barrier destroy relevant because there's only 2 generators on this map and they're both in the middle of the water. So being able to kill them quickly is a really strong move. But being able to walk on land, very very helpful. And they're currently escaping Mutt's attention.
So Gray is just ignoring all of his units and going right for lab coal.
Yeah,
I love it. So Mutt's taking Central Geyser. The Central Geyser, Gray looks like he's approaching it with
yeah,
his barrier destroy.
yeah. He's scouted that. He has these bat cuttlefish, which are
We'll see how Mutt responds to his home coal.
yeah, absolutely. I
So
mean, this is going to be tough
Gray's
for him because he has amphibious units, but his range does not reach.
Gray's putting pressure on very important points of Mutt's economy right now. That
Yeah,
one
absolutely.
geyser,
I mean,
he has all
Gray's gonna kill this generator right now.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he is. Oh, that was close.
Okay.
And
Oh man.
he's gotten 2 of Mutt's lightning rods, and I mean, this is
Yeah.
just really hard for Mutt to deal with. He's finally cleaned it up.
I mean, Mutt has enough units to defend, but he was able to hit Mutt's electricity economy very hard. And in that time of splitting Mutt's forces, he's taken this bottom geyser. He's eliminated the middle geyser. He has enough time to reinforce with those. Looks like
He has 2 Neils now, so these are the quintessential pure swimmer unit. They used to have 47 water speed, but they've been nerfed, so they only have 41, which is still one of the fastest units you can possibly make. And unfortunately, they do not match up very well versus these dolphin rattlesnakes, which are only there to get regeneration. This is a dolphin with regeneration. But it does not have keen sense, and that is quite relevant, as you can see Gray sneaking units into into Mutt's own unit line and getting away with it.
Gray's major play has been these amphibious units. He's not even really used that much pure swimmer.
Absolutely.
And you'll see he had 2 units at each of Mutt's north expos that he's actually taken out those expos.
These are paying attention to what Mutt's doing. He doesn't have that much henchman presence, but he has had this generator for a while, and these 2 Neils might be able to defend it. We'll see. Mutt using the deflect eagle at level 2. Is that a level 2? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's a very expensive level 2, but my goodness, deflect, 9 damage, keen sense. Keen sense is going to be very relevant.
Oh, that's important. Yeah.
In this matchup.
The efficiency of the pure swimmer is.
Yeah, I mean, the deflect should be really good against 2 Neils. 2 Neils are pretty glassy, but they do a lot of damage, and yeah, so this is quite interesting because now Mutt just doesn't have very good damage on this generator. This is going to take a while to go down. I mean, it is going down, but Gray is getting a huge amount of value from this generator. Mutt, meanwhile, taking the expansion, using his flyers to take out these melee units that all they can do is run. But as is pretty standard on Sandbar, most of the action is coalescing around this choke point and around this generator. And Gray has managed to defend.
Wow.
This is really strong play.
Yeah, it's honestly a little surprising. What's rotating something around the right of the map?
Yeah, these are some lobstain lions that are gonna try and take out this workshop. We'll see if he's successful. And then he's raiding with the pure swimmer, but solo Sonic, not gonna do very much damage. And both players hitting level 3 almost simultaneously. So this is.
And so he does see this with his keen sense.
Yeah, he does, and he's got a really good matchup. I mean, the flyers just should completely counter Gray's units here. I mean, they're on land they're too slow to escape. In the water, they are faster than the eagles though. So the eagles are gonna lose sight of them, and that will be helpful for Mutt, or for Gray rather.
And
So
Mutt
Gray did
is
take
putting-
out the or Mutt did take out the workshop here. So Gray's henchmen are now walking all the way back here to go mine.
Yes, oh my gosh.
This guy is running a marathon. What a dedicated employee. I mean, that's pretty crazy. He's not gonna get back to that goal for a while.
More or less right now we have map symmetry. Gray does have the bottom geyser. Mutt has. At
He
least
hasn't
has unit
taken this generator though. I mean, Mutt has. I guess he has one more coal expansion at the moment, and he's maybe gonna take this one because he knows it's free. But
The problem with that middle, a hard part about that middle generator is that if someone controls that entrance at the bottom left,
Yeah.
they basically control the entrance to the whole middle part of the lagoon.
absolutely. I mean, this is definitely a huge part. Now, these are really nice. Hammerhead chameleons, the regeneration and immunity, really useful. And Gray's come back and repaired this generator. So, I mean, this is a really big economic advantage for Gray now. Just in terms of the electricity. In terms of coal, they're pretty even. And Mutt,
Right.
you would expect Mutt to really do well in terms of the micro. And here comes some Pack Hunter Barrier Destroy, but this is a really big bodyguard pack here, so Gray also using Narwhal Cockroaches with the Charge Attack and Plague. Pretty powerful unit.
Wow. Yeah, I've never actually seen this.
Yeah,
Have you
Kiki,
seen them?
I've seen Kiki use a version of this with the cockroach back legs, so that it also has Defile Land. They are ridiculously annoying when microed properly. We'll see if he actually makes use of the plague because he just died there.
Yeah.
This
Either way, I think this altercation, I think Gray has the unit masked.
Gray has the mass, but the Sonic could do a decent amount of work. But is not microing this as actively as you might want, and the regeneration's now gonna help out. It's an interesting matchup.
To the middle of the map. I'm not sure.
Yeah, these are more level 2s, just more of these incredibly annoying Cuttlefish Hercules.
Yeah. So that unit was actually popularized by Shoddy.
Oh yeah.
I actually stole it from Shoddy. Shoddy stole it, and then Gray stole it from me.
Yeah, I'm not terribly surprised. And Gray now bringing out the classic pure swimmer bombardiers. More expensive on this patch and very slow, but very powerful when they're properly set up. And Gray needs to fight a little bit more if he wants to keep these. He needs to fight a little bit more, but I think he's just going to sacrifice them to the Velvetunas.
And so the Velvetunas are Sonic. So when you have direct range, you're looking for some sort of counter in terms of artillery or Sonic to slow them down and hit multiple units at once.
Yeah.
And so Mutt is
yeah, if Mutt gets a good firing arc like that, the Sonic is going to have a huge advantage. In a 1v1 fight, I actually prefer direct range, but because Sonic has lower damage overall. But if you can get overlapping damage like this, I mean, this is the perfect sort of fight for Sonic.
You saw it right there. Mutt's able to engage a few melee units just enough.
Absolutely. But meanwhile, so Mutt has finally taken the mid generator, but it's not got many upgrades, and he's lost all of his mining hench up
And
here.
Gray is
So
also taking top expansion, it looks like, as well.
yeah, Gray has finally taken the top expansion. He has sound beams as well to help deal with Mutt's units, raiding units, and so Mutt pushing.
If Gray cannot hold here, though, this is going to be very tough.
Yeah. If Gray can hang on here, which he should be, he's got good positioning. He even had a pincer there, so this is a very challenging situation for Mutt on his map pick. I mean, this is Gray's showing himself to be very strong on the pure swimmer map, even if he isn't known for it, even if he doesn't like it. He's certainly giving a good account of himself right now.
This has not been expected by any means.
No, definitely not. This is level 4 now for Gray, and this is a huge power spike once again.
That's going to be... if you look at the map, Gray's going to get the middle right now. He has most of the expansions.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, Gray taking out the chambers first to really deal with the defense, although he's killing his own units with this poison artillery. But
Okay. At this point, Gray can afford it.
yeah, at this point, these level 2s have more than outlived their purpose. I mean, they've done so much, even late into the game, finding use for them. with the amphibious, with the camouflage. Just a really good unit choice. And yeah, great
Running
hiding
away
back
from
from here. And these are gonna be his trump card.
Oh yeah,
Giant
those are reach.
squid hammerheads.
Those are beautiful.
They're fantastic.
Speedy, pure swimmer, probably a lot of range distance as well.
Yeah, they have a 28 range, so they if you could put sound beams in the water, they would still outrange them. And yeah, I mean, in terms of price point for this kind of power, I mean, this is very cheap. And with the map control Gray has at this point,
That's similarly priced to Mutt's level 2 flyers.
yeah,
If I recall.
something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then he has these narwhal lobsters as well.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 35 speed in the water.
And now they just got upgraded the health as well.
Ooh.
And they're amphibious too, so they can go on land. And yeah, Mutt's lab is in trouble, and he's seen the inevitable. So what a performance from Gray.
All right, so we're 2-2 right now in the losers finals.
2-2
Comes down to this last game.
Absolutely, reverse sweep is definitely on the cards. I mean, if I were Mutt, I would be sweating bullets right now. I mean, losing your map pick on a map style that you're famous for, you know, being good at and enjoying, against someone who doesn't play pure swimmer maps very often. I mean, that's got to be a bit of a blow to the mentality. But
and Gray did the same. He didn't try one of his rushes. He stepped back. He played his macro game.
Absolutely.
He raided. In that game, his raiding with camouflage units on Mutt's expos was what turned the tide.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was just really good preparation and great unit choice for sure. So it all comes down to this. Final map.
So the map is going to be Vacation. Okay.
Vacation. Which this is the Dust 2 of Impossible Creatures for all of our CS:GO viewers, or any Counter-Strike viewers. Yeah, Vacation is the classic map for 1v1s. I think it has way more than any other map on the rank ladder, and so this is a fitting decider. But it's a much smaller map, so trying to
bread and butter of 1v1 Impossible Creatures right here.
That's right.
Definitely, without a doubt, has the experience on this map.
Oh yeah, anybody who's played any kind of time on ranked 1v1s in Impossible Creatures will have lots of experience on Vacation. It is a much smaller map though, and so Mutt perhaps wanting to go away from the huge macro battles with constant ratings everywhere, just going back to the classic fundamentals. And here we see the Mutt Scout heading out. Both players similar initially.
Vacation as a map is you have your 5 coal and then a 3 coal right basically in your base. So you have a lot of resources right where you're starting that are more easily defendable, less raidable. I mean, you saw Mutt get into trouble these last 2 games from these faraway expos that Gray was able to raid and just take
Absolutely.
out.
Absolutely. And Mutt
this map is
getting a good scout off here.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Classic Mutt style. He's going to see Gray's 3 rods.
Yeah.
Again,
Gray scouting himself, seeing that Mutt only has 1. But Mutt making a very important play up here to fence off this expansion. The expansions are both have the same amount of resources, but this one is far more exposed. There's a lot more room to sort of mass units and stage attacks. But the top expo, if you can defend it, it's a smaller area, but it is much more defensible, and this fence is going to make a huge amount of difference if Mutt can complete it, which it looks like he has.
And Mutt has done a cheeky fence in Gray's lab just to stop any sound beams going behind his tower.
And this is also a mental play as well. If you fence off someone's lab like that, that can indicate that you're planning to rush them. So Gray scouted and knew he wasn't, but
yeah, Gray scouted 1 rod is very unlikely.
Yeah, you're not gonna rush with 1 rod. That is certainly accurate. But
so Mutt is going for the expansion that is defended with the bramble pretty early. Gray is more making home base play.
Yeah, he's set up defenses, but he's also made plays for electricity pretty early. Mutt choosing to get the water generator first, which is an interesting choice. And now Gray moving out with his scouts, and Mutt with the never outdated Cheetah Scorp.
And he's bringing him back at Gray.
Yeah, and its life was outdated there, but
Is that a deflection armor meat unit?
it is a Oog Camel, so 4 damage with
I mean, once you
deflect.
start massing range like this, it can be very powerful.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean,
level 2 range with
Mutt is a player that loves direct range.
Oh, and you'll see Mutt saw that he had mass range, and he started building these hyena artillery archerfish.
Yes,
Or
which
artillery is a great,
we have
great
not seen
comment.
before, but look at that price point, 104.48. That is so cheap. I mean, the coal is just so cheap, and that's gonna be really helpful actually versus Gray's units. But Gray has a lot of units here, so if Gray just decides to push out at this point, he actually wins this fight. I'm pretty confident.
If he pushes here, he probably will win, but he's also not pushing into Mutt's Expo. Mutt loses nothing just by pulling back and defending his home base, which definitely
Absolutely.
will do that for us.
Yeah, Gray can definitely gain map control with this, but he's not going to kill with this army. This isn't strong enough to kill Mutt's lab, but
and when he gains map control with this, it's only to make the map even.
Yes,
Right?
that is a very important consideration. And the generator upgrade difference is, yeah, it's relatively even right now, actually, because Mutt has not fully upgraded either generator. Each upgrade is worth the same amount of resources. Cost different, but worth the same bonus.
When you have this amount, I will note Gray's putting down some sound beams. When you have this amount of ranged in artillery, sound beams become much less.
Yes.
Much
that is true. That is true. But Gray is making great use of the high ground here. And he has the longer range artillery. These have 37 range with keen sense. So really useful units here, these Caterpillar Eagles. And Mutt rotating away. He's realized he's not going to be able to take away Gray's expansion. And so we're going to have to see what he's doing up north. He is building a bunch of advanced structures.
He's probably going level 3 soon.
Yeah, he's in fact hitting level 3 as we speak. Gray going advanced structures, but not yet going 3.
So that's going to be huge if Mutt can take advantage of this and convert it into.
Absolutely, yeah. These clinics should make a huge economic difference. And here we go, the electrical grid upgrade coming in, and other very relevant consideration for level 3. Are these currently available beluga rattlesnakes, which are somehow level 3 despite doing absurd levels of damage.
Do you think they'll be hit? They are very slow though. Their weakness is their speed.
Yeah, they are quite slow, and Gray is showing good aggression here, but the range is really helpful in Mutt defending with his forces. But up top, also really good job getting the second fence up. This is classic Mutt because he is not using any units up here. He is confident in his ability to fence and build up other defenses, and meanwhile he is attacking Gray at his expo and forcing Gray to multitask. And this is showing his experience. I mean, he's repairing his workshop. This is Mutt's only workshop. If the workshop goes down, he can't convert anymore.
So Gray was able to fight back.
Gray's held pretty much, and then Mutt another layer of fence. I mean, this is, and he's getting a third sound beam and using almost all of his henchmen to do this. This is going to be a 5 sound beams going up. He's lost 1.
I mean, these range units are powerful.
They are. And the regeneration is going to help, but 3 overlapping sound beam towers. If Mutt just puts this hench on guard stance, you need to pay attention to those units. And Gray giving up, realizing he's not really gonna break through, and
really
pulling back.
To take advantage of amphibious here because Gray does have pure land.
Gray's got into level 3 by now, and Mutt varying up his unit matchup here, bringing out these classic alligator chameleons and these ram pythons, the new prams.
Pythons. Yeah. Miss Brooks was using before this patch.
Yeah, they're expensive, but the value of horns has gone up because it's gotten a little cheaper in the latest patch. And Mutt Oh no, these are grays. Sorry. So we're going to see some the spitting Kuga versus the enjoy it before it's nerfed mirror matchup. Whoever starts shooting at each other first is gonna
Or they
win
become
because
fast.
they oh, Gray is not upgraded, but Mutt has, so that is a huge difference beyond the numbers. With the correct response, though, Gray breaking out these poison frog uh, octopus and pushing
Great. Yeah.
the top expo with the eagle caterpillars. Mutt built a chamber though. I'm not sure why he's producing range. You should just put
Yeah.
a couple
Well,
of ram pythons and they would destroy that. But
you have a bunch of chambers and you're hotkeying between all the chambers to make units.
that's
He's
true.
probably
That's
at least
probably what
five
happened.
tall.
You're right. You're right. That's
So
probably what happened. Gray,
Gray actually is came back. Is
yeah, he's
not
he's
so
he's doing pretty well. I mean, he did defend his expansion. He's got fewer henchmen mining currently because he's going through and repairing and healing.
heal.
But this is artillery is just really strong, especially against henchmen. I mean, he's gonna lose a lot of henchmen here. The melee
Oh, that's so
is
painful. Oof.
very much the correct response, as you see the beautiful leap attack going forward. But
Gray's actually pushing him back with all.
Gray is making advances, but
Now, if Gray was able to put enough pressure to take down and get that bottom geyser, then that would
yeah,
be huge.
absolutely,
That
yeah.
would be really
If Gray can kill the geyser, then he's in with a shot here. Because I mean, the map state,
Mud is actually on his geyser. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
is pretty even. They're trading across the map. Um, Mutt has had a little bit of a resource advantage just from having his expansion up earlier, but
And the difference here is that the units down south are not going to be able to go into
yeah.
Mud's
Oh
base.
no, 52 health. Oh no, they shouldn't have pulled
Uh,
away. Oh, that is terrible for.
I mean, now Mud's units up top have taken the geyser. They're moving
Yeah,
their units
that's so
forward.
unfortunate. Oh no.
Economically, this is going to start tipping.
Yeah, this is rough, and Mutt immediately sending a henchman to build.
Good. Oh no, that's Mud's henchman.
That's Mutt's henchman. Yeah,
That's a good play.
that's a
That's a good play.
huge play.
At this point, the momentum is just.
I mean, Gray's been stretched pretty thin overall, but he is defending his base, but now he's started to lose his expansion, and you know he has a unit matchup to solve this, but bringing the hench punch against these belugas, this is pretty wild to see Mutt punching in melee range at the same time as Gray is punching. He's got some healing henchmen as well. I mean, these belugas are not dying as fast as you'd expect. I mean, they have more health than they look like, because anything that looks like this with this snake body generally doesn't have that much health. But these are pretty beefy.
Going to be hard for Gray.
Yeah. So Gray has managed to come back and take the generator in the end.
Yeah, and if he can hold this middle, it all comes down to can he hold this expansion on the right?
Absolutely. If he can hold it, if he could just sneak a unit or two over here and kill this generator, he's not going to be. I don't think he'll be able to do it at this point, but it would be a massive play if he could.
Yeah.
And he's pushing the expansion to do economic damage. I think he needs to kill this chamber though. It's Gray does.
Hello.
Chamber's just spending.
It's a
Oh my gosh,
thorn
the
in his
chamber is
side
not
for
doing
sure.
expansion. So they're not even going to his base.
Yeah, they're going all the way around because Mutt has rallied all of his units to the expansion, and now unless Gray has a secret level 4, I don't think this is gonna work out. I mean, Mutt has moved belugas up to Gray's base. Mutt has no chill right now, and taking out the water chambers, and Gray throwing down some extra creature chambers in base, but he's about to lose his last water chamber, so he's not going to be able to build. Even if he has the resources, he's not going to be able to build from this. And
You can see Mutt's already taking that expansion in the bottom right.
yeah, recognizing that.
I love seeing Mutt do this game. As soon as Gray's geyser was gone, he had a henchman there. He was taking it over. As soon as he bought this expansion down, he's already got his own workshop up.
Absolutely. I mean, this is Mutt slowly taking over, and I mean, just a beautiful game from both players, really. But Mutt with the perhaps showing a little bit more experience, perhaps just I don't know. It's either
Yeah, it
way.
was good. I
This
mean,
is
not getting the bottom geyser was tough. I
yeah.
think
It's
Gray's
he did
expansion was a
come
little.
back and repair it a bit, and now Gray's doing some raiding, which is typical Gray at this point. I mean, pulling that off is pretty impressive. Um, but it's not gonna make the difference now. He's only mining from one gold pile, and Mutt has all of this. Is Mutt going for?
So it looks like
Yeah, Mutt is
Mutt.
almost to level
Oh
4 as
wow!
well. So
I mean, as expected, Mutt looks like we'll be advancing and facing this
there it
proxy.
is. That's the game. So as you say, we expected Mutt to win, but we didn't necessarily expect the games to go like that. So very well played to both players. Do you have any
Yeah.
closing thoughts? Looking back, looking forward.
Right? Those were great games. I mean, Gray properly adjusted after his first 2 early rush losses, playing the macro game. He did much better with the macro game. He being able to beat Sandbar. So I mean, that was huge. We saw a shift in gameplay, a shift in strategies. But as expected, on top, and rightfully is going to face some scraps in the finals.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be it's very much looking forward to seeing the grand finals versus Nisperox, and so I hope that all of our viewers will stay tuned for that when it happens. If you want to see it live, join the Discord. The link should be in the description, and because that will be happening very soon, probably tomorrow. And if you don't catch it live, I'm sure that the video will be posted soon afterwards. So until then, I've been Davo.
I've been Carl. It's been great talking to everybody, and we'll see you in the finals.
That's right. Like and subscribe.